Welcome to Sew and Tell, where sewists from fashion, theater, and indie sewing bring their different perspectives to the hottest topics in the sewing community. I'm Kate Zeinard.
I'm Amanda Carestio.
And I'm Meg Healy.
Today on the podcast, we are talking tees. Yay, T-shirts.
Yay.
Yay. I feel like the perfect T-shirt is something that people are always on the hunt for, and especially us sewists. So today we're going to discuss some of our favorite patterns and share a few tips, and we'll all be inspired to sew all the T-shirts after this, I'm quite sure. Before we jump in, though, how are you two doing?
I'm doing good. I've been doing a lot of digitizing, working on actually our the CME Christmas episode. So episode, not episode, issue.
Episode.
I'm sorry. I'm
do that
I'm
all
in
the time.
podcast mode right now, you guys. So I've been digitizing some stuff, and it's always fun to create something and then put it on the machine and see if it actually works. It's very exciting. So that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, and holiday.
I know.
Too. I just can't wrap my head around working on like holiday stuff in July. Like this whole new world of like working on the magazine has opened me up to that, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah. I've been doing it so long now. I don't even think about it. That it's weird that it's June and I'm sitting here working on stuff for Christmas.
I know. I just never know what season we're actually in.
Nope.
I know. I think last time on the pod, I shared that we were getting a little new addition to our bunny family.
Yes.
I can't believe it feels like it's been so long since we recorded. So we've had him for a couple of weeks. And even last night, we made huge progress in the bonding process. It's been the first time in our bunny history that they don't immediately love each other. So they've been living separately for a couple weeks. And so now we divided our loft in half into two separate, so they can now kind of see each other, and they're doing great. So the first time we put them together, it was a bunny fight. It was lots of hissing and biting.
Do bunnies hiss?
Oh, no.
Oh, their hisses are like
that was good.
It's actually really funny, and their teeth go.
I did not know that.
So no,
Me
yes,
neither.
I know, and they grunt too. It's so you don't think that they make noises, but we go. It's so funny. So last night we made a huge step forward in our bonding process. So we just live in cages now. I have to go through 2 gates to even get over to my kitchen from my sewing room, but we're getting there. I think we've just been lucky the first 2 times that they just love each other, because they can take months to bond. So I'm up for the challenge. It's a good experience, I think. So that's just my update in bunny land. So yeah, bunnies and sewing. That's what I've been doing.
I love it. I love it so much. Well, shall we hop in?
Yeah,
let's do
I was
it.
just thinking I'm wearing, I think, are we all wearing T-shirts today? I think.
I am, but mine 100% is store-bought. So,
Yeah, mine
How
too.
about yours, Amanda? Did you make yours? Oh, yours is store-bought?
Store-bought, yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's really, it's really tempting to buy sometimes T-shirts store-bought, but it's like amazingly easy, but it is hard to find a pattern that's kind of, everyone finds like their T-shirt, like brand or fit or material. Like what I've learned is people are really, really picky about their T-shirts. I know Julian is very picky. He has to have this like tri-blend like fabric, and it's like,
That's fancy.
It can't be too short. I know. So, because he used to work at the T-shirt print shop, and so he was very picky. But, and even as I was doing an experiment for this segment, in a previous episode, you know how we did that kind of skirt comparison where I sewed 3 skirts and I kind of compared them. So in Meg fashion, I have made I have made 3 T-shirts before, but I obviously last night I sewed up 3 T-shirts. I just wanted
You're
to
amazing.
just like the experience of back to back to back, and I have them. They're all green because that's my staple. Because I just got the new Cashmerette Concord T-shirt, and I really wanted to try it out. I love how Jenny, who we've had recently, expanded or sort of. Do you call it expanded into, I guess you could expand into new sizes. Yeah. I was just trying to, the play on words. But so I stitched up the Concord t-shirt by Cashmerette. I stitched up a new Bird It Easy pattern for a classic t-shirt, as well as the Common Stitch Sparrow tee. So those are the 3 I stitched up. And I'm going to do a little blog post like I did last time with me and all, so you can easily see. And I sewed up the same size, not the exact same size, but based on my measurements, what my size would be. So it's just crazy how they can range so much. Like we have the Concord one was very form-fitting, which I like for certain things.
Definitely.
And the Sparrow one the neckline was really wide. I could almost wear it like as an off the shoulder, and I didn't really do any modifications to any of them. I sewed them as is. So it's just like a really interesting experiment to do. And the funny thing is that I still don't think within those 3 that I found like, this is like, I'm going to make this one again and again. Like still with even sewing 3, I'm still on the search for that. Actually, no, I have found it. It's just not released yet. I'll let Amanda talk about that one. I'm wearing it right now.
So
cute. So just quick before I kind of go into a little bit more detail. So I just want to hear from you. What t-shirts have you sewn in the past? And what's your experience with sewing t-shirts? What patterns? What's kind of you've liked about it? Just tell me about your tees.
I'm going to go first because my answer is going to be a lot shorter than Amanda's. T-shirts are not something I actually sew very often. I have a lot of graphic tees. I am a big fan of T-Turtle, and they have wonderful, adorable T-shirts. And so,
what is T-Turtle?
T-Turtle is a T-shirt company that makes very, very cute and kind of nerdy tees, graphic tees. And I've got a whole big collection of, I've got Star Wars, I've got Sailor Moon, I've got one that's it's called Lovecrafting. It says Lovecrafting at the bottom, and it's got Cthulhu doing like little crafts. It's very, very nerdy. And so I have so many graphic tees that making t-shirts is just like, I can't wear all the t-shirts I have as it is. So I usually don't do it unless there's a really good reason to. So I did make the Lane tee from Hey June Handmade. I made several years ago for a feature in Sew News, actually. It's a raglan. And I am a huge fan of the raglan style. And so I was really excited to try that out.
Oh, yeah?
It's kind of fitted. The fabric I used had a lot of recovery. I think if I make it again, I want to make it with some more relaxed fabric because I'm not a huge fan of really fitted tees. But it's a great pattern because it has a whole bunch of different options. It has like 3 or 4 different sleeve lengths. It has an option for doing a little thumb hole on the long sleeve version, so you can tuck your thumb in. I think it has a hood option.
Cute.
It has 2 different hems. So it's got a whole lot of really cool things if you want to get a t-shirt pattern that's going to give you a lot of different looks. So options. I recommend that one. It's from Hey June Handmade. And then the other major t-shirt I've made is the Sage tee from LB, which is actually a men's tee. And I believe it's a freebie. I made it for my husband, and he loves it and has asked for more, but I haven't made them yet because I'm a terrible wife. It was nice and easy. And like I said, he loves it. He thinks it's the best. So those are my major t-shirt makes. I'm not the best t-shirt maker. Maybe I'll be inspired. I don't know. How about you, Amanda? I think you've made more t-shirts than that.
I always forget about a raglan sleeve.
Love raglans.
Yeah. What about you, Amanda?
I feel like I'm always on like a t-shirt journey and I never like get off. And I think like Kate, I find that I still buy ready-to-wear T-shirts from time to time.
Mhm.
And I don't think that it's, I was just sitting here thinking about some of my favorite ones. And I don't think it's like the cut comes into and the silhouette comes into play a lot. But I also think that the store-bought ones that I love them for the fabric or the color. And it's something that I can't necessarily find for home sewing. So I don't think I haven't even noticed if there's like a particular blend that I love more than others. It usually comes down to like color and texture, and I can't find it, so I buy it. And sometimes I knock it off. I've done that numerous times. My latest T-shirt journey has been, I feel like my focus on roller skating made me aware that I don't have as many like workout tees and things like that. And so I was recently doing a lot of like thrifting larger men's T-shirts and refashioning them, like cropping them, adding ties, kind of. And that was my favorite again, because you could like take advantage of the store-bought fabric that you might not be able to source otherwise, but then kind of make it your own. And I kind of like that, like a little bit of a looser cropped fit for skating, with like a sports bra underneath. So it doesn't matter if it moves around a little bit while you move. But I do really love sewing tees. I feel like I'm still a little bit on the search for my favorite one, but the ones that I've made a lot in the past, the Lubox top by Sew DIY, which is actually that one's for knits and wovens. It's super hackable. It comes with a lot of different options. I do love the Rio Ringer tee. That's hard to say. Rio Ringer tee by True Bias, which has that
Rio Ringer.
It's hard. It has the neckband and the armbands that you can do in like the kind of classic 70s, 80s contrast color, which I love. I forgot about the Penny Raglan by Grainline Studio. That was actually the first knit garment that I made. And I think I've shared this story before where I made I extended the neckband to fit the neck line because I noticed it was shorter, which is what you want for a knit pattern, but I didn't know that because I'd only ever worked with wovens. I will say I love that pattern. I usually have to size down and make some adjustments to get it to fit the way that I want because it's pretty oversized. The other one that Meg, you kind of hinted at was a tee that we're working on developing that'll be out this fall, I think September-ish. And
yes, September.
I love this tee. I never ever thought that I would be a cropped tee kind of person, but now that I have all these high waist pants and shorts, I find that it's a nice pairing. So that one will be coming out, but I have made that one several times now and I do kind of love it. So yeah, I like to explore and experiment with tees, but that's kind of it for me.
Yeah, you talking, Kate, about your graphic tee just reminds me of, it's like my T-shirt journey. When I was in high school, I used to, Hot Topic wasn't in Canada yet. So when we would go to the States, I would always go to Hot Topic and get all my band T-shirts.
Yes.
But as an adult, I rarely wear things with like graphics on. If it's, I usually wear, it's either a printed fabric, but I don't really gravitate towards like a graphic print anymore or something. I should dig out some of my old T-shirts. I think the last one I wore, and I think my last ready-to-wear T-shirt I bought was when I was in Myrtle Beach, and it just says Myrtle. I think you have to when you're in Myrtle Beach, though, right?
Required.
Required, yeah. We all got our funny Myrtle Beach shirts. But yeah, as I'm now, I think the most thing that I would do to it, I'm thinking about doing it to one of my shirts, is adding embroidery. I'm thinking about just putting a little golf thing on it, but that's as far as I'll go. So I've come a long way in my T-shirt journeys. You just reminded me of that. That's funny. But I do see, just quickly before, like it's hard to like get rid of those things, and so many people do. I love like a graphic T-shirt quilt. I think that is the coolest thing to repurpose. And if you don't want to throw it away, you never wear it, just to keep it in a quilt, I think is such a fabulous idea. I love seeing those.
Me too.
All right, so now I'm just going to briefly go through each one that I picked to kind of compare to each other in my little test, and just kind of go through which size I made, which fabric, my discoveries, or would you say? So I'll start with the cashmere at Concord t-shirt. I really loved this t-shirt pattern. I'm going to hold it up for you. It's nice. I sewed the cropped version, and like what you said, Kate, I love this pattern for all of the variations. There's a V-neck line with a corresponding band, a scoop neckline with a corresponding band. There's a long sleeve, there's a short sleeve, there's a longer hem length with a facing, there's a crop. So you get a lot for your money with this pattern. Yeah, and it's divided up into cup sizes. So they have it's separate printed home PDFs, and there is it starts at cup C. So I printed out the cup CD, and then there's EF and then GH. For I got the size of the 0 to 16, and I sewed size 10. I think next time I would sew size 12, or use I used kind of a athletic fabric. I used this fabric to sew the Avery leggings by Helen's Closet, and I wanted a matching t-shirt. And so it's nicely fitted in the bust area. It's a nice fitted kind of workout t-shirt, but I think if I were to sew it for every day, I'd maybe go up one size, or just use more like a stretchier t-shirt in it, like a jersey, because this has really good stretch and recovery. So it clings, which I really like. And I also love that this pattern has hem bands to it. I love a hem band, and it has an included neckband as well. And the cropped length is pretty cropped. I didn't even modify it, and it's beautifully cropped. So I really do like this pattern. It does fit when I'm wearing a bra really nicely, but it's not tight around the stomach, which I really like. So it fits, it's nice, fitted here, and it kind of just floats, but doesn't it comes in just enough. You know, when t-shirts like the bust, it just hangs straight. So it's that she really knows how to draft for curves, and it's a really great pattern. I can't wait to. So I did love this pattern. It was worth the purchase for sure. It does start with cup C, D, and then to C to H for the 0 to 16. But she does have a size calculator on the website that you can select your typical bra cup size, and there's an AB selection. So then you put in your measurements, and it will calculate a size, I'm sure, with a corresponding cup that's available in the pattern. So but there is no particular AB cup printed out.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Berta Easy from issue 3, 2021. I believe it's only on the German Berta site currently. It's not up on the English one quite yet as a digital download, but it comes with 3 variations. And it has a cropped hemline, a kind of a longer hemline, then there's a dress hemline as well. And I made the cropped one, and I made it in a waffle knit. So it's nice and stretchy, and it's green. And I've made this pattern before, and it has a neckband, and I found that the neckband made the center back at the neck kind of bag out a little bit. So I wanted to try doing this one with the neckline just simply turn and then top stitch. And I found it laid a lot better, and it kind of opened up the neckline a bit. I find that the Berta's back neckline kind of comes up really high, and so the band makes it a little funky and I cut it to size too. So I tried it with just turning down the allowance, and I think it looks really good. I really liked this pattern.
Yeah.
It's loose. I sewed a size 40 in this one. They're in the European sizes, and it fits me really well. It's kind of loose. It's that perfect crop. And I would recommend this pattern too. It was nice. And I find Berta does their short sleeves a little longer too. So next time I might shorten it up a little bit. It's kind of goes far on my arm. So I think that's the only thing that I would do to shorten up the sleeves a little bit. But overall, I really like it. So that really nice cropped style. And then third, I did the Common Stitch Sparrow Tee. Now, I believe this is a free download from Common Stitch. And I sewed this up in lime green stretch velour. I mean, why not? And And I stitched a size, I believe, 12 in this one. And I did based on my measurements. Just like all these, I looked at my bust and waist and made the size that it suggested. This one was quite oversized. The neckline was quite open. So I can almost wear it off the shoulder, which I kind of liked, which lended it to kind of the green velour. But I really like the sleeve shape and length. They drew the allowance like a V, so it comes out. So when you sew the sleeve hem, it fits really nicely in the sleeve. It's angled, which I really like. I really like that. And the hemband, the neckband is a draft it yourself. So you're supposed to measure the neckline and then cut it accordingly. And I think I pulled Amanda and I think I cut it a little too big. And maybe that's why I'm getting the more off the shoulder look, which I don't mind. But I will say this. So this one has two different hemlines. Oh, now I just can't even remember. I'm on t-shirt brain. But I did crop this one a little. No, it just has the one hemline, and I cropped it 4 inches because this one was really long. So this one was the only one I kind of did a modification to because I just don't wear shirts that are like go down to my hips. I don't like tucking things in, and I don't wear anything low waisted anymore. So, but I really liked this. It's a really nice loose fit, and it actually works really great in a stretch velour. It's super comfy, and I have just enough stretch velour to make a matching pair of shorts. And so this outfit is going to be so cute. I'm so excited. And what I did for all of my t-shirts is I don't even like get out my cover stitch machine anymore. I am obsessed with this stitch on the Epic 95Q Husqvarna Viking. It's you select the knit option and then the hem option, and it's like this like cover stitch. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'll take a close up, but it stitches so nice, and I can use matching thread easier than having 4 spools of it. And I don't even do a zigzag anymore. This is my favorite knit stitch. It's amazing. I did it on all of them, and I feel it's really secure. Oh, I don't know why sometimes I do the things that I do, but I was the hem on the sparrow tee, I did it bigger, and in one part of it, I missed like 2 inches. I didn't catch it on the underside, and I just didn't feel like stitch ripping it, and so I super glued it. and now it's all hard and crunchy. Gorilla Glue dries really hard on fabric, so I might just have to cut it all again. I don't know. I did this morning. Like sometimes all my experience of I know and I just said, oh, I just don't feel like stitch rip because it's a lot of threads to stitch rip, and I just had, it's super glue will fix this, and it's like hard, and so now like this part like doesn't bend. It's all hard. I'm just tapping it on the table now. So just a little lesson learned. But you know what? I think it could go even more cropped. I'm not scared to crop it even more. No rules with velour. But I wanted to give some honorable mentions to other t-shirts that I've made in the past. The grain line hemlock tee is amazing. I love that the t-shirt version of that. I've made it many, many, many times. It's such a great pattern, and as well as the Sew House 7, the Tabor V-neck top. It's a really great pattern. I've made it. It has, again, for a t-shirt pattern, I think options are so key in a good t-shirt pattern. You having different necklines, different long sleeve hem lengths and sleeves, and I think that one has a lot. And the thick V-neck is super pretty. And I love kind of a t-shirt that it doesn't have a traditional like set-in sleeve. It has more of like a band to finish as like a sleeve, but it's still that length. So that's those are my honorable mentions. And I also had the True Bias Rio ringer. I have it printed out, but I haven't made it yet. So that's kind of on my next t-shirt. But I just still like, I think the one that you were mentioning, Amanda, the t-shirt that is debuting, I think out of all the ones that I've sewn, and I'm not just saying, like, I'm actually not just saying this because it's like the pattern we're working on it's my favorite. I'm wearing it right now. Like the sleeve hits me great. It's the perfect crop. It's the perfect fit, not too tight, not too loose. The neckline is great. I think I'm going to be making this one the most. And I'm not just saying that because it's your pattern. I'm not. I don't know if someone mentioned this, but I just sort of thought about layering sorts. But the Concord t-shirt I would wear that under like layers. If I were to wear like a tank jumpsuit, I don't like a loose layer. I've tried to wear the t-shirt that I'm wearing or a more baggy one, like the Berta one, under my Yanta overalls, and it just doesn't work. I like a really skim tight t-shirt when I'm layering things over it. So the Concord, I think, will be my go-to for my layering t-shirt under overalls and tank tops even. So
yes.
Released one is my favorite, kind of just wearing what it's on. I wouldn't layer it under anything.
I mean, I think the takeaway is you can't find like your perfect t-shirt because you need more than one and you need them for like different reasons and different outfit combinations.
Yeah.
So true.
You just changed my whole mind. I went into this being like, I'm going to find the one. And then I just realized, I just told myself, and you can't just have one.
Exactly. We settled it.
Well, that's all, folks.
Bye now.
Oh, okay. Next, I just want to touch on, we've talked about patterns for so long. What are our favorite fabrics to use just for a basic t-shirt? What type of fabric? And it could be color or the type of fabric, the amount of stretch. Kate, what about you? Like you sewed that raglan. What did you sew that in, and did you like it?
I sewed that in a cotton knit with a little bit, I think about 5% spandex from Art Gallery Fabric. And I feel like that one was a little too clingy for me. I kind of wanted it to be a little bit looser. I know there's some that I've picked up at Joann's before that I would be happy to stitch t-shirts in if I hadn't, if that was what I was going to do with them. I usually do tank tops instead. But and the one I did for my husband was made with this really nice rayon jersey that I get from stylishfabrics.com. And it is super, super soft and just really, really lovely. And I think that's one of the reasons he loves it so much, because it's so, so sweet and comfy and just lovely to snuggle into. So I need to make myself a t-shirt out of that, actually, at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, Art Gallery has a really good knit. I've made.
Oh, yes.
I know, but yeah, it's a pretty stable one. I made it the adventure tank and in their knit for kind of sleeping, and yeah, it is kind of clingy, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, super high
Amanda,
quality.
What's your favorite t-shirt? Yes. Oh yeah.
And really cute patterns.
There was I've done a little bit of experimenting with one of the local craft shops near me had some. I think it was Fancy Tiger Crafts. They had a hemp blend, and I really liked that. Ooh. It was a bit more sturdy, and so I think it'd be better for patterns with a little bit more body, less drape. But I do love those and the way those wear in. And I've been grabbing just from one of the bigger box retailers, just a polyester spandex blend that's really soft. It might be brushed, I'm not sure, but that's been working for more of the like sportier things I've been making. But I don't have favorites. I guess I'm still on the search for a favorite there too.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of, I've been buying this from Simplify Fabrics. They have all eco-friendly fabrics, and it's like a bamboo cotton jersey. I just love that. Because I also like when it's not too thick. I don't like a thick t-shirt. I like when it's kind of has drape and it has it's not like it's see-through, but it's not like I don't know. I just like a little lighter weight. So I think that's my favorite. But I have to stop wearing and making white t-shirts. It's a curse that wine and crumbs and splatters, they just love all my white t-shirts. I think this one has like washed out stains all over it. But I love that in a green.
I'm there with you. White. There's no point.
Mm-hmm. But I will say I love like a ribbed knit. I think that's super great for a t-shirt as well because you have that a little bit of texture in it as well. Yeah. So I just wanted to briefly go over as well. What I know, Amanda, you mentioned one, the Lubox can do for knit and woven, but what about woven t-shirt patterns? You can make a woven t-shirt, right?
Totally. I've only made the Lubox in a woven actually. But there's a ton of good ones out there. I just haven't done too much experimenting with them because I'm just usually in the mood for a knit tee, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about you, Kate?
I've never made one. I went onto a little bit of a hunt for one several months ago because my mom wanted to make a shirt out of a cotton she had. And so I was looking for something fairly simple for her because she quilts and doesn't do a whole lot of garment sewing. So I found her a couple options, none of which I can remember right now. But she did pick one and bought the pattern and cut it out, though I don't believe she has actually started to make the shirt yet. So if she manages to do that at some point, I will report back.
Nice. Yeah, I will say that I consider the Antero shell like a woven t-shirt, and I've made a gazillion of those. I was actually wearing one yesterday, and yeah, it has that kind of t-shirt look, and it's my favorite kind of woven. And I also have made it in a knit. I made it into a knit dress, and that's kind of like my around the house dress. It's super cute. So I would say that would be my like go-to like woven t-shirt.
Nice.
Me too. Woven tee for me. I think I'm never really interested in making a super fitted woven thing usually. And most of the woven tees on the market are, have darts and are pretty fitted. But the Antero is pretty much as boxy and flowy as they come. And I do love that one. And it's a little bit more elevated, I think, than like a standard tee silhouette, maybe.
And I had one last question, but I'm just going to scrap it because it was if you only have to pick one to sew. We just established that you need multiple for different variations. So let's end it there. And wow, so many options. And it was so much fun to sew all. I love an excuse to do a little sewing pattern experiment. It was great. And I literally sewed all 3 of them in 2 hours, like tiling, cutting, sewing, and finishing. So,
all right. Now it's time for our very favorite segment, our Sewjo segment, where we talk about what's giving us our sewing inspiration right about now. So, Amanda, why don't you start us off? What's giving you your Sewjo at the moment?
Oh, man. I forgot to think about Sewjo. I feel like I'm in one of those periods of time where I'm like sewing a lot, but I don't even know what I'm sewing. I'm sewing like samples here and there and just one-offs. But I think I've got summer overalls on the brain again. So I might have to
Yes.
I might have to cut. I have some pretty lightweight striped railroad denim that I just realized earlier today is kind of calling my name. So I think I'm going to start there.
Awesome. How about you, Meg?
I have linen dresses on my list. I just love wearing dresses. I feel like this year, I'm just so into it. And I really don't have that many. I did the whole wardrobe switch last week where I put all my fall stuff away, bring it out, and I need more linen dresses. I have all this linen. I just did on our YouTube channel, So Daily Network, I do a sketching live, and I did one with linen and did some dresses, and I need to sew those up. So that's for me.
Nice.
How about you, Kate?
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't think I'd mentioned it on the podcast, but my anniversary was last month, and it also happened to coincide with right when my husband and I became fully vaccinated. So we decided to take a little vaxication, and we went to Las Vegas for a few days. And the whole time I was there, I just kept wearing my up in arms tops because they were really loose and comfortable and very nice in the hot weather. So I'm kind of feeling an urge to make another one of those. Possibly finally use some of the Vienna linen that I've been hoarding, trying to decide what the right thing is to make with it.
Yeah.
And then, also, I've got some linen that's sitting and waiting for me to make some pants with it. So I'm thinking some Nini culottes and a up in arms top, and that sounds like a lovely thing to be wearing as the weather heats up.
Oh, linen is everything in the summer.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes,
agreed.
I am a convert.
Amanda's converted the whole pod.
That was my goal.
Yes. Amanda's been working on us for a long time, and I finally started to get into the linen thing. And I mean, I'll admit, some nice lightweight shirting cotton is also a wonderful thing in hot weather, but linen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move on to our Sew and Tell segment. We had a little incident this month where we kind of forgot to put up our question on our Instagram. So we didn't have any direct answers to that question. So instead, we're just going to read some of our favorite comments about the episode itself. Meg, why don't you start us off?
Oh, this is my favorite comment from So Melwick. I was listening to this last night while finishing up my latest blouse and laughed when you started talking trends and mentioned both mushrooms and lime green. My top is a bright lime green mushroom print.
Perfect.
So perfect. I need that fabric. I need this blouse. Amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, absolutely. We also heard from Kate Wanamaker, who said, I've been meaning to make new covers for the throw pillows on my couch. Thanks for inspiring me. And then she also asked, during the episode, someone mentioned making tea towels for gifts. I love this idea, and I have been looking for a good fabric to do this with. What type of fabric should I be shopping for? So I'm going to kick it over to Amanda.
Yes, our lovely host, Sadie, whose job is never done, jumped in and she had some good advice on this one. She said, I love using a linen or linen blend for my tea towels. I've also had great success with flannel, diaper fabric, and terry cloth. And vintage flour sacks material is really nice if you can find it. Perfect.
Ooh, yes. I do love my flour sack towels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am not wasting my linen on a tea towel. I'm just saying that.
It's true. Too precious.
Maybe small scraps. Yes.
Yeah. No, just joking.
All right. So for this episode, we're going to ask you, what do you look for in a t-shirt pattern, and what's your favorite pattern?
Ooh, we're going to be inspired.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, lots of crops, except for me. I don't like crops. But yeah, give us some inspiration.
Yeah, and then also let us know just on the side, what fabric as well do you like to sew your t-shirts in?
Oh, yeah.
Plain white tee, lime green velour, we want to know. And I need, so excited to see more patterns that I need to make.
Exactly. Okay. Love it. Fun episode, you guys.
Yes, inspired.
It's tea time.
Tea time. All right. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, let's go make some t-shirts. Bye.
T-shirts and tea towels.
Happy stitching! For links to everything we talked about in this episode, go to our show notes page at sewdaily.com/sewandtell. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at sewandtellpodcast@goldenpeakmedia.com or visit us on Instagram at sewandtellpod. Answer the Sew and Tell question, tell us your Sewjo, or just leave us some feedback. If you enjoyed our show, please subscribe on your podcasting platform of choice, and please leave us a review, ideally a good one, because that helps listeners like you find our podcast. And tell your sewing friends about us too. Thanks for listening, and happy stitching. Sew and Tell is a Sew Daily podcast and produced by Golden Peak Media. It's hosted and produced by Meg Healy, Amanda Carestio, and me, Kate Zeinard. Daisha Clay is our producer. Director of podcasts is Jared Mayer. Tiffany Warble is Director of Content. Kelsey Ratterman handles our marketing, and Andrea Lotz does all things digital. If you'd like more information on sponsoring or advertising on Sew and Tell, go to goldenpeakmedia.com.